Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are live on both YouTube and Twitch for a WWE Smackdown watch party. If you are watching this on catch up, you can watch it live whenever you would like by clicking that subscribe on YouTube and, of course, clicking that follow on Twitch. You will get a spoiler warning, which is our new show, for absolutely free. This is spoiler warning. You will also get some gaming content on the Twitch side on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And of course, you will get live watch parties for both Raw and SmackDown. Today is WWE SmackDown. It is Friday. It is Edge's return show. It is Seth Rollins very, very annoyed. And it is Roman Reigns very, very annoyed. It's the annoyed Olympics. Everyone's just not happy with everyone else. And isn't that the best sort of wrestling? When everyone's just not happy with everyone else. Isn't that what we all secretly want to see? And by secretly, I mean openly. We all want to see things go to absolute hell. We all want to see carnage. We all want to see insanity. Well, we'll go and get it. We are going to get it. I'm going to quickly post on Twitch if you've never joined us for a SmackDown watch party. You don't know what you're missing. Jump in and see if we can't enhance the show for you. And then I'll put the link in. And we can all have a little bit of fun ready for the show to start. This, of course, is your show rather than my show. Any comments I will pick out and I will highlight. And I think I'll put my branding on as well. Banners, not branding. And just get this ticking along on the bottom for anyone who wants to catch up. The notification should have gone live on Twitch, but the most important thing is that SmackDown is coming, and there is a lot of SmackDown to cover. I know it's only 2 hours, but it always feels like a little bit more. It always just feels like a little bit more because it is a crazy, hectic, fast-paced time on SmackDown. It's not the 3 hours of Raw that sometimes just drag and drag and drag. It's a bit more glorious carnage. And that is why we watch wrestling. The glorious, glorious carnage. Welcome to the show, everybody. We are 1 minute away from SmackDown, where the expectation is that the main event will be Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn in a one-on-one last man standing match. Last man standing for a Money in the Bank match opportunity. Someone is going after that briefcase. And I don't think either of these are winning the briefcase, but I'm definitely confident that Sami Zayn is winning this match. I do think Kevin Owens' time off has not started yet, rather than having already finished. This would be a great way to formally write him off just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Michael Latina is with us. Hello, Michael. Welcome to the show, mate. I'll be picking out comments and chats and all the like as they happen, and just saying a big hello to everyone, because these watch-alongs are kind of your show. They're not entirely my show. They are your show too. So the watch-along is live. I'll in fact post that in my Discord. Watch party is live now. The show is starting. We have our then, now, forever together business, which still feels incredibly cynical. I think that's just a WWE thing. I will always believe they're very, very cynical. We're not opening on a cold open. We are instead opening on a recap of what happened at the end of the show last week. The end of the show last week, of course, was the return of Edge. Bailey says the next to last SmackDown at Thunderdome. How would you eliminate the Thunderdome? Welcome, Bailey, to the show. Michael also says Fightful Select is reporting that Zelina is listed on the internal roster as a SmackDown heel. Interesting, because, of course, as we know, Tommy End has openly said that that is not what happened. He has openly said that reports about her returning were incorrect. Very interesting. So who's right in this situation, the reporter or her husband? I would be surprised if it's a reporter, and you'd have to question whether or not you can trust anything Tommy End says again. Edge is certainly bulked up in his time off. You can see him really showing that off a little bit. I do like the Iconoclast t-shirt. I very much like that t-shirt. It's simple, and the simple t-shirts tend to do well. You look back at Austin 316. Simple, very effective. You don't need to be too fancy in the world of WWE. So as usual, we are opening with a long recap. Lots of slow-mo, lots of spears, lots of zoom in on faces. Edge's beard has definitely got bigger. He does look physically a much better match for Roman now than he did. They are very carefully avoiding in any replays showing Roman Reigns still at the top of the ramp when Edge says, "Where are you? Where are you?" He was still at the top of the ramp. Megan says, "That simple. It took me a minute to realize it was merch. Honestly, also hello." Yeah, the simplicity really works for it. And hello to you too, Megan. Welcome to this show. We are live at the moment on both YouTube and Twitch. Michael Cole has opened with "It's a penultimate SmackDown inside the Thunderdome." Bold choice. Bold choice. And of course, talk about progressive. Bruiserweight Alfie has joined us, loudly declaring that it is his birthday. Happy birthday, Alfie. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. And if anyone else can congratulate Alfie on his birthday, I would very much appreciate it. Chelsea already jump in there and saying happy birthday to Alfie. Chelsea also says, "Hope you're well. How was the week?" The week was good. I enjoyed this week. Last Sunday, I had a job interview that I feel very, very good about. I feel very good about. And in addition to that, there's a couple more opportunities that are opening up. So I'm crossing my fingers. Also, I may be going to Vegas soon, but that would require me having money first. I have a friend over there, so I could literally go there for however the hell long I want. Michael also wishes Alfie a happy birthday, and Megan as well. There you go, mate. Happy birthday to you. We all wish you a very happy birthday here. Edge is opening the show, still wearing the same t-shirt. They're hyping up, much like they hyped up the WrestleMania main event before Daniel Bryan got involved. It's all about for the first time ever. Chelsea says, "Are you going to SummerSlam?" I am not planning to go to SummerSlam, no. My plan would just be to visit some friends and probably still stream from that location. It would be a holiday, but a working holiday. Because if it's a working holiday, then I can stay for longer than a week. I can stay for 2 weeks. I can stay for a month. Chelsea also says, "Good to hear." Yeah, I'm feeling a lot better, basically. I'm feeling a hell of a lot better. You may notice the Post-it's gone. I don't need it anymore. I think it's also worth pointing out that Spoiler Warning earlier today did extremely good numbers. Really extremely good. I was very pleasantly surprised by how much of an audience we found for Spoiler Warning earlier today. Didn't last the full hour, but lasted pretty long. I'm starting to worry about how Edge's promos are going to work when there are fans back. He's speaking very quietly, and it's not like ASMR Edge. It's not like ASM Roman. Very different thing. Edge has just said something rocked him. You heard it here first. Edge versus The Rock for WrestleMania. And Michael says, "Spoiler Warning is the best show of the week." Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for that. I try my best just to make it entertaining. Being able to talk about Roman's creative control was a good one earlier today. And that will definitely be the YouTube video tomorrow. Edge is blaming Daniel Bryan for his loss at WrestleMania. He is heelish, isn't he? You can't blame Daniel Bryan. You really can't. Alfie just came in for the celebration. Says, thanks for all the birthday messages. Right, all. I'm out. Going to get some sleep before a big day tomorrow. Got lots of things to do. Thanks to Tom as well. Thank you, Alfie. Alfie's over in the UK. It's 1 a.m. there, so I completely get it. You have a good night and have a very good morrow, sir. Edge is coming across very bitter. Edge is hyped up. I like the intensity. I always like the slow zoom in on the eyes. I always like that. I also quite like his jacket. Not the color, but the design. I once had a jacket like that. I really liked it. I think it was a similar color. Has he got my jacket? No, he's bigger than me. Okay, so Edge's whole storyline here is, yeah, but if Daniel Bryan wasn't there, I could have beat you. Bailey says, will a new job opportunity allow you to work remotely? It will. It is technically a work from home job. It's a 3-month temporary post, which would, of course, be very, very beneficial. It would still allow me to do all of my usual streams. And of course, if I'm doing all my usual streams, hopefully we'll continue to build an audience here on Twitch and continue to build an income, more subscribers and the like. And before you know it, if ever I get to a point where I'm covering my bills using Twitch, which I think I'm about 20% there, which is damn good. If we ever get to that point, then I can basically go wherever the hell I want, as long as I can take my laptop with me. He's pretty good to me. Welcome noob to the show, saying Edge showing us the meme. He's basically challenged us there. Challenged us to meme the Roman. I'm down to meme a Roman. This ain't doing it for me. He spent 10 minutes saying, I can beat you though. I don't think you are, Edge. I don't think you've got his number at all. Thank you very much for the retweet, Michael. I will retweet that shortly. You are not inevitable. Seth definitely costing him at Money in the Bank. They want to keep this narrative. They'll want to keep this narrative that he can beat Roman. Best way to do that is to ensure that someone else stops him from beating Roman. Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, obvious choices, I feel. But Seth should be the one. Seth should be the one. It makes sense to me for Jey Uso to not return from Money in the Bank, for Jimmy Uso to be essentially eliminated by being in Money in the Bank and losing that, but obviously being severely damaged in the process. That leaves no one in the way of Edge's route to Roman, at which point you're introducing Seth Rollins. Jimmy's hoodie just says yeet. I respect it. I really respect it. Big E's going to Raw, mate. And Megan says, what's going to last longer, this promo or the actual match at Money in the Bank? I imagine the match will go at least a little bit longer, but not by much. Not by much. Sounds like Roman's not there yet. See that promo by Jimmy Uso, much better. Much better than what Edge did. Jimmy Uso just destroyed Edge. Edge took a full 10 minutes to say, I think I can win. Jimmy Uso walks in and says, when Roman gets here, so he gives exposition, we're going to destroy Edge. Less than a minute. Boogs. He did. Went full Thanos. I am inevitable. I'm going to need to hear that back to see if it was actually any good. Usually my deep voice does really good. I can do a proper evil laugh. Which I think is really good. Boogs must go for a lot of pants. Like a lot of pants. Damn, he looks good. You can just hear Michael Cole getting danced on, and I love it. But Boogs must go for a lot of pants. Because, I don't know, it's funny. Now, is Nakamura wrestling today? He didn't wrestle last week. He just celebrated, which I was fine with at the time. At the time, I was fine with that. But I think we can do a little bit more. Do I watch SmackDown and Raw on a monitor? Yeah, I've got a TV. So I've got my laptop here and my TV there. My laptop and my PS4 both feed into the TV. So if I'm playing a game on my laptop, I use the second screen as a monitor. If I'm playing a game on my PS4, then I take the PS4 out of the TV, plug that into the laptop, and then feed that into the monitor via laptop. So it's fiddly as hell, but right now I'm watching it on the PS4, but I don't need to feed it in because I can just watch it on the screen. We're getting a recap of last Friday in which Nakamura just celebrated being the king. Meanwhile, he is in the ring celebrating being the king. Kingsuke Oh, God, I'm starting to love him. I'm actually starting to love Pat McAfee. That's the world we live in now. Never thought I'd get there. And he's taken on Big E. This is a tag team match, surely. Yes. Tag team match. So against Corbin and Apollo Crews? No, Chelsea. It's a bit of back and forth. He initially had pyro, then he got fake pyro. So like they'd make the noise, but they wouldn't actually give him the pyro. It is against Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. This is a pivot point. They occasionally do matches like this when they want to pivot. So I'd imagine Nakamura is entering the IC Championship division right now. And Megan says, I can't wait to hear crowds sing along with Nakamura's theme. Yeah, that'll be the one. That's when I'll know I'm back. Like when Drew McIntyre walks down and people are like, yay, yeah. Or when Nakamura comes down and after the song's finished, everyone's just still going, whoa, then I'll know. And when Elias says something about the local town and everyone just goes boo for about 20 minutes, then I'll know. The beach balls. They're beach balls. They don't give Nakamura the pyro and they don't give Rhea Ripley pyro. Well, the budget gets spent by Roman, to be fair. Roman's got to have it his own way. I think we all know about that. So we have our first commercial break. They have teased us with a match that I want to say it's something that we really want to see. I don't know, though. There's some stars in there. Nakamura, Big E, Corbin, Apollo Crews. That's a decent crowd of people. But I'm not sure it's going anywhere, you know? Big E's been in a lot of tag matches recently. That's all I'm saying. Jill says the best thing is when the crowd sing Jericho's theme in AEW after the song ends. I do like that. I'm a big fan of that. I remember the first time they really highlighted that in the Jericho Cruise. Also, Judas is genuinely a really good song. Every now and then I'll listen to it when I'm going for a walk. Just because it pumps you up, you know? It pumps you up. So we have our first commercial break. We are about to walk into a tag team match. Nakamura and Big E against Corbin and Apollo Crews. They have moved back to Baron Corbin. They're formally back to Baron Corbin. He's good. He's no longer the king. Which means hopefully we get the Lone Wolf theme. Hopefully the Lone Wolf theme comes back. I kind of miss it. Megan says, tell me they don't know what to do with Big E without telling me they don't know what to do with Big E. It's everything you don't want, but I feel like sometimes they are desperately trying to avoid having fans believe that a wrestler is on creative hiatus. So they're throwing him into matches, but they're matches with nothing going for it. They've not really changed course. They've not given him a storyline. They've just, thrown him into someone else's storyline, which don't work for me. Chelsea says Judas is a banger of a tune. I agree. Definitely agree. And Jay Quick says, has Michael Cole botched twice saying Money in the Bank? He keeps saying it's a week from Sunday when it's 2 weeks from Sunday. I haven't heard that, but it's not impossible. Maybe Michael Cole's taking the piss out of good old JR. Or maybe he's not. So we are already hyping up the last man standing match, which should be our main event. Apollo Crews is now making his entrance. We will get Baron Corbin's full entrance, so we'll see if he just gets a Lone Wolf theme back. Can I just say, End of Days, great finisher, great song. You can make a star of this man. Logically, Big E is here to coin the phrase Happy Corbin. As if it's some sort of insult. Like when they tried to make the STD thing work, when he was a super tough dude. Didn't work, but they tried. Tried for a couple of weeks. They also tried to get people chanting dumpster fire at Corbin, if you remember way back when he was taking on Cena at SummerSlam. Oh. Look at him. I just want to give him a cuddle. Thank you very kindly, Chelsea, for the 9 bits. Much appreciated. Thank you, as always, for helping to support the channel that we've got here and the work that we do. Another 9 bits as well from Chelsea. Thank you very kindly. Corbin is still coming down to the King Corbin theme. He looks dejected. Hasn't changed his gear. Noob says, I feel bad for Corbin. Me too. Me too. Michael disagrees slightly. Could not stand the Lone Wolf character. We're definitely getting some evolution. He's growing a beard. He's growing a beard and he's growing his hair back. Oh, God. He's growing a beard. Nobody panic. That was great. They started introducing him as king. It's like, sorry. That was amazing. Thank you, Chelsea, for more bits. Another 15, another 6, another 16, and another 6 one more time. Thank you very kindly for that. Marcus over on YouTube says hi. Welcome, Marcus. Welcome to the show. We are watching Smackdown right now, a live watch party. Welcome to it. I have to laugh at that one. Have to laugh at that one. They are definitely going with King Nakamura. Nakamura's growing his hair out a little bit. Thank you so much, Chelsea. 46 bits and lots of clovers. For an Irishman, I respect that to no end. Thank you very much for your generosity there. Latina, Michael says he does look like a face now. He does, doesn't he? We called it last week, but we got there. And he says, I already feel bad for Corbin. He's already emotionally scarred inside. Also, Nakamura finally got some character development and growth. Yeah, this feud actually really worked for both of them. This feud has been pretty much perfect when you look at the end results. They got everything they were going for. Everything they were going for. I can't help but think Cruz and Nakamura have matching gear now. Boogs and Big E is a combination I'm enjoying. Crowds are going to eat that shit up. They're going to go crazy for that. Corbin's just dejected in the corner. I feel so bad for him. I love this. I'm definitely going to talk about this in the Intercontinental Adventure. I even said it right this time. Corbin's just been tagged in. Doesn't look happy about it. And he's already on the floor. Michael said, if the Corbin and Shinsuke feud was on Raw, I wouldn't care for it, but they've made it interesting on SmackDown. They found ways. This is a commercial break, isn't it? Yes, it is. They've found ways to make it interesting to me personally. And that works. This feud was everything I dislike. It was all about a crown. It was constant, repetitive matches. It was very little actual character development. And then they just, like that, turned it around, gave us real intense development. And it just, I don't know, it works. Chelsea says 40 bits if Big E and Nakamura win. I think I'm getting those 40 bits then, mate, because I think Corbin's going to be so dejected that he either lets himself be rolled up or lets Apollo Crews get pinned. This is all about the depression of Baron Corbin. That's all this entire thing is about. The depression of Baron Corbin. Oh. I'm just so excited. Oh. I'm really quite excited to see where this goes. I know a lot of people are of the opinion that the only good thing about SmackDown is Roman. I disagree. I think Banks, Bayley, and Bianca Belair have been doing really good things. And I don't know. This works for me. It shouldn't, but it does. We are almost half an hour in, so about a quarter of the way through. So we're going to do a quick roundup at the top. We are currently sitting on 225 followers on Twitch. And if I go over to YouTube and check the exact number, we are on 588 subscribers. So if you haven't followed on Twitch, please pop over to twitch.tv/Tom Colhue and do so. If you haven't subscribed on YouTube, please pop over to youtube.com/C/Tom Colhue and you can subscribe there. Every little addition of those numbers makes a big difference to me personally and the individual growth of the different channels that we're doing. So if you can, please do so. Because we've hit 225 followers, we are only 25 or 10% of my current goal away from reaching 250 followers. When we reach 250, I will be completing the entirety of the video game The Last of Us in a single sitting. One single sitting. It is a 15 to 18 hour game, and I will do it all in one long Sunday, and I will definitely cry. That is the thing that game does to me. Chelsea says they could do another stipulation match at Money in the Bank by putting a crown match in there. They could. Personally, I'd rather see Nakamura in the match. I think he works for being in Money in the Bank. Ideally, this would have been a way to get more people in there, but we are where we are. Apollo Crews, as we know, is definitely not going to be in there now, unless he gets a last chance opportunity. But I don't think he will. I just don't think he will. We are so close to fans back. 2 weeks. And I tell you, they are throwing everything at the return of fans. SmackDown in 2 weeks is going to be a hell of a watch. A hell of a watch. Jill says, I think every Money in the Bank match needs to be huge. You're probably quite happy that Drew McIntyre's in there then. That was a big selling point for this one. We come back and Corbin has Big E in a rest hold. Commander Aziz is just talking in the background, carrying messages by the look of it. Big E's getting out of it. I think the fact that Big E is building for the hot tag to Nakamura tells you everything about their plans for Big E, or lack thereof. Okay. I wouldn't mind another opportunity for Baron Corbin with the briefcase. Wouldn't mind it. Jill says, did you watch the football tonight? I did. I did watch the football tonight, and I enjoyed it. We could see the penalty, the failure of the penalty kicks coming. Nope, don't crash. Oh, God damn it. BT Sports crashed. This is not a good app, like at all. But if I watch it on my laptop where the app is good, pardon me, then all that's going to happen is I overload my streaming. Now I'm using StreamYard right now because I'm dual streaming. But still, but still. At some point soon, if I ever get the money, I'll be going Prime on Streamlabs, and then I can dual stream with all my graphics. And I'd like to do that. I just think it'd feel better. Right, Apollo Crews is tagged in. Big E, though, still building towards that hot tag. Clever tag by Corbin. Keeping Big E cornered. This match is all about Nakamura and Corbin. Apollo Crews and Big E are just there to make sure it's not the same. Noob, you think Zelina Vega is going to be in the Money in the Bank match? Interesting. I did report what I had earlier, but there were several caveats at the end of it, as you'll remember. I've waited a long time to report even that. Boogs is just providing a distraction here. They are zooming right in on Baron Corbin's face. He's a very expressive man. They are towing his truck. It's getting repossessed because he's not got any money left. They're laughing at the poor here. Big E's going to pin Corbin. They just said he also may have lost where he's sleeping. He's not sleeping in his truck. Wow. So the storyline here is that we're laughing at the poor. He's actually crying. No, he's not. That's just sweat. He's going to make that mistake. We are definitely supposed to feel very bad for this guy. And I do. I do. Chelsea says Corbin with a beard looks 10 years older. Michael's just laughing at King Crabbing. King Crabbing. Seems Corbin is going to be a poor guy. Essentially, he's going to grow that beard way out. Chelsea's saying, anyone going to WWE UK live in September? I am not. I believe Eleanor is from this channel. If you're in the Discord, by all means, put a shout out there and see if anyone's interested. There are a few people there who will probably jump on it. And Megan says, Hobo Corbin. Hobo Corbin. So it's Hobin. Hobin. Thank you, Chelsea, for those 40 bits, as promised. Much appreciated, sir. Thank you very much for your generosity. Really do appreciate it. So we're a half hour in. Bailey is making her entrance. I would have expected them to keep Bailey and Bianca Belair for the second hour draw segment. She looks good. I like the black and white motif. I like that. Someone has just messaged me quoting my tweet and telling me to stop supporting Corbin. I'll just put never. Welcome, Matt. Glad to see you, mate. Thank you for joining the show. Thank you for joining the show. Do you feel bad for Baron Corbin? I hope so. Right. Okay. Right. So we're having a face-to-face between Bailey and Bianca Belair next. I'm not big on face-to-faces. There just seems to be a few too many of them. That said, Kofi and MVP, their face-to-face went down really well. It was a very good promo. Bailey can deliver an exceptional promo. It's just been a long time since she has, because stylistically, she just sort of laughs now. It's time for the laughing to stop. Matt just says, happy Corbin. I do, honestly. I just talked yesterday about how if they do a happy Corbin, it's going to be stupid, but stupid in the best way. I'm getting behind the guy. I'm 100% behind a face Baron Corbin. I've always been a Corbin fan. Always. And I've openly been it. Just give me more. Just give me all of it. Give me all of it. Taking a piss for everyone. Drink. I've just finished Coke. That'll keep me going for the next hour and a half. Matt says, I've never been a Corbin fan, but I'm ready to be. I've got some Jack actually downstairs, so probably on Monday I'll have a Jack and Coke. Really lay it down. Yeah, be ready to be a Corbin fan, because he's going to surprise people, like in a very good way. He's very, very popular backstage. And I think now's the right time. Now's the time. What's the crowd capacity for live shows? I'm not sure. I know they're not full capacity just yet. I think it's 50%. I think it's 50%. Don't quote me on that. Joe says, I'm ready to be a Corbin fan if he goes face. I would assume that the storyline they're doing now is trying to undo all the layers of hatred, trying to make you really feel for the guy before then formally turning him face. It's looking a little bit bad on Nakamura and Boogs because they're reveling in this guy. Yeah, I think there's a happy Corbin coming. Oh, and I'm there for it. I am. I just am. I've always liked the guy. The more you learn about him as an individual, the more you care. You know? He's one of those. The more you learn, the more you care. They're going to put everyone behind the camera and the commentators and no one on the other side. Possibly, I reckon they'll space people out 50-50 though. Just little groups of people like they're doing at the football at the minute seems more likely. Mega says, I'm not going to be a Corbin fan. I'll pity him if it's done well, but that's it. Can I ask why, Megan? Why do you believe you're definitely not going to be a Corbin fan? Megatron 2K says, hello, Tom. Just tuning in. What are your thoughts on the Corbin storyline right now? Well, first of all, Megatron, welcome. And secondly, I've really enjoyed this entire Corbin storyline, particularly the Nakamura Corbin phase. But this sad Corbin, I really get behind this. Corbin's a really popular guy backstage, really genuinely popular. Someone that they believe will be a multiple-time world champion to a point of a new Triple H. This is a huge opportunity for him, and he's a genuinely nice guy who fully deserves it. If you watch any of his non-WWE stuff, the grilling, the selfie promos, any of his gaming stuff, this is a genuine nice guy. Jill says, is it worth going to WWE live shows? The seats are at the very, very top. Yes. Every time I've gone to a WWE show, I've been like right at the top tier. But it's still fun. That said, I got free tickets in those times. So if I get the opportunity of free tickets, I'll take it. Right. Bayley's hyping up the fact that she beat Bianca Belair in a tag match at the beginning of SmackDown last week. Another championship match incoming. Okay, this is still a happy-go-lucky Bayley. I'd rather she got intense here. Jill says Corbin is in the latter years of a wrestling career. If they're going to make him a multiple-time champion, they need to ASAP. No, is he in the latter years? He was a bit older when he started, wasn't he? Baron Corbin age. 36 isn't necessarily latter years, but it's certainly not early years. They do have plenty of time, though. He's one who could definitely wrestle for the next 10 years, I reckon. Very fit man. Megan says, there's just a disconnect for me when it comes to him. I can't really explain it. Fair enough. That's the thing that happens. And in fact, Chelsea has agreed with you. That is something that happens with certain characters. There are certain characters I've never connected with. Yeah, Chelsea, I did look that up. I'm guessing in the delay, got swallowed up. We have a new 24/7 champion. Brandon has arrived and immediately gone straight for the belt. VIP for Brandon _ AKA _ SW Lounge. VIP added, welcome to the show, mate. Welcome to the show. Noob says, out of the 4 horsewomen, Bayley, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch have better character development than Charlotte Flair. Disagree on all of those points. Literally every single one. Charlotte Flair walked in knowing exactly who she was and has become more and more that the entire time. It's perfect. Yes. Brandon says, hey, Tom. Welcome, Brandon. I suspect Bianca Belair missed her cue there. There was a large gap. A large gap. Bianca Belair is wearing really loud yellow. That is genuinely difficult for me to focus on. I feel like there's a genuine sensory overload going on when I look at her now. Brian says, how's SmackDown so far? Have I missed anything good? Yes. Baron Corbin. I'm being genuinely serious. Baron Corbin has definitely been the highlight so far. I don't know how to describe it. That's just how it is. Bianca Belair has offered Bayley a crack in her mouth. Awkward pause. Michael says, is it just me or has Bianca cut too many promos as champion each week? I agree. I'd like to see her involved in more matches, to be honest. Seemed very mistimed, a bit behind. Yeah, kind of. And Brandon says, has he turned babyface yet? Nobody had his car repossessed. He's apparently lost a lot of money. Knew quite accurately. Corbin is getting closer to becoming a hobo. He's not cannon fodder. Not with you there. Don't really understand what's going on. But yeah, Corbin's also growing a beard. He's going to go full on hermit. It's going to be amazing. Okay, we might be about to get hair versus hair. You going to do it? If the officials will allow it. Okay, another championship match. Anything else? Anything more? I quit. Neither of these women has a recognized submission move. This is going to get real hardcore. Jill says, why do I have a feeling Corbin is getting released? I guarantee you Corbin's one of the safest people in the company. Bailey agrees that Corbin is going nowhere. Michael says, I'd rather have an I Quit match over hair versus hair. Me too. Me too. Hair versus hair, it's not for me on this one. Hasn't Bianca already beaten Bailey twice now? Shows how thin the women's roster is on SmackDown at the moment. Yes, and also yes, you're absolutely right. They need women on SmackDown. They should stop releasing them. There would be something a little bit dark about the whole concept if Zelina Vega were to return to SmackDown. Essentially, they would be paying her the money that they gained from releasing her husband. That would just be really awkward. Noob says, no hair versus hair, but an I Quit match. Boy, I get the feeling that Bailey is going to be written off and get drafted to Raw. Been saying that for a while, mate. That's exactly what I expect is going to happen. And Megatron says Corbin is super valuable. He is. He genuinely is. The WWF are very firmly behind Baron Corbin. Okay, that wasn't bad. For a face-to-face, that wasn't bad. The fact that she said if the officials will allow it doesn't really work for me. No, Chelsea. No. It's very much not. Don't you worry. Also, of course, suggests that Bailey's not going to be on the SummerSlam card, which is a shame. But I do feel after losing this, we won't see her again until the draft is complete. Okay, Jimmy Uso is back talking to Paul Heyman. The championship's in the background, so Roman is there. Okay, Jimmy Uso wants the main event slot, which immediately kicks Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn out of it. Roman's already there. Starting to get the feeling that Roman's going to be, will have been there the whole time. Yeah, Chelsea, she's definitely losing. Our second-hour draw segment is a last man standing match. Card subject to change. Card subject to change. Bailey was always the one that I was confident was heading to Raw. Even as early as February, I've been of the opinion that she should be moving to Raw. Brian says, I expected more from Bianca's reign taking over from Sasha. Instead, we get 3 of the same championship matches. I don't believe Bianca has faced anyone else from the title from what I can remember. She hasn't. She faced Bayley in the build-up to Sasha. She then faced Sasha. She then faced Bayley again. That's the situation that we're in here. She's gone from Bayley to Sasha to Bayley. But there's no one else on her level to really face. Bayley's all that they've got. There is no one else to actually wrestle. Okay, they're advertising good stuff for Raw. Certainly suggesting that for Miz TV, we might have a fatal four-way between the Raw Money in the Bank competitors, which I imagine Drew McIntyre would win because he's Drew McIntyre. But it'd be a good look for Ricochet, definitely. And it's the third one, Riddle. It would definitely be a good look for Ricochet and Riddle. Helps them develop. It says if Bayley's not there, who steps up? Whoever replaces her, I'd imagine Asuka. I'd imagine Asuka Bayley is the swap that they're looking at, but I'm sure there'll be more swaps as well. And Brandon says, I've already read that one. So yeah, I'm definitely seeing Bayley moving over to Raw. I don't know who would replace her. I do think Asuka is the obvious choice, as it were. But I think there'll be a lot of people in the draft coming up to SmackDown. I think Toni Storm might be one of them. I think Dakota Kai might be one of them. Maybe Ember Moon. If you have that, plus a swap for Bayley for Asuka, maybe a couple more people, Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, for example, that refreshes basically everything to a very good degree. Brandon also says, hopefully NXT call-ups. If you're looking for someone to step up, call-ups are probably the answer that you're going to get. And to be honest, it's a pretty good answer. If you have the call-ups, you might as well use them. Yeah, Michael, I am aware of that one. Yeah, I am aware of that one, Michael. But Toni Storm is a name that I've been mentioning quite a lot, let's be honest. True, Bayley, her promos haven't really delivered. I'd imagine she's going to get paired up with someone. Don't know who, but maybe she'll be paired up with Eva Marie. Do you think Raw and SmackDown GMs should be separate? I don't think there should be GMs at all, so kind of no. Although I would like Sonya Deville to commit to one party, mostly because I wanted to come back soon. And Michael says, Tony versus Sasha is one of my dream matches. I find that likely. I think Sasha Banks will stay on SmackDown. But honestly, I think Toni Storm is more likely to go to Raw. That's just my personal opinion, but I think Toni Storm is more of a Raw player. So that you can get Toni Storm versus Rhea Ripley and the like. But it depends. Depends if she passes those tryouts. And there are a number of them going on. Brandon says, I feel like Sasha is one of the few superstars in the company that could work with literally anyone and make it work. I agree. I think Sasha Banks is one of those. I've never seen her have a bad chemistry with anyone. Never seen it. Hopefully I never do. I doubt I will. It's the mark of someone who's constantly learning, and she is constantly learning. She's always going somewhere to find a new trick or something new to add to her repertoire. And it's a big help. It's a really big help to her overall growth and the show that she's on. It's just very rewarding to work with someone who is constantly changing, growing, and developing. It is extremely rewarding to work with that person. Noob says, Asuka is a great wrestler, but lacks in storytelling and character development and character growth. Very true. I think a change will help her more than not. Because I think if she stays on Raw, she'll never get any character development. Whereas on SmackDown, everybody's getting character development. Right now, everybody's getting it. So we've got Happy Corbin. Maybe Happy Asuka comes next. I want to see this last man standing match go the distance. I really want to see it go the distance. Someone's trying to pitch a new show to me. I like that they always give us the rules. They always give us all the rules. Bailey says, so much for KO's break. I do think it's very possible after this match, he'll take the break. I think it's very possible he'll have the break, just not yet. This is, after all, last man standing. Ideal chance to write someone off, especially when someone's taped up because they're already hurt. No, that you don't count when someone's rolled out to the floor. Doesn't matter if they're still on the floor. You have to restart the count when they're on a new surface. I'm going to be telling off the referee a lot in this match. Well, that was a pure crotch shot. I am hoping to see a package pile driver today. Kevin Owens can get away with it. He definitely can. I also hope this is a great opportunity to break some stuff. Omega says, what did you make of Tessa and the Diamond tweet? I am not aware of Tessa and the Diamond tweet. I have no idea what it is you're talking about there, Omega. Could you give us more context, please? But yeah, heel Asuka. Happy Asuka is pretty much overkill because it's the same thing that happened when Roman Reigns tried to turn heel and it backfired a few years ago. Roman Reigns turning heel a few years ago didn't backfire. He was one of the most hated men in the company. When he walked into the Royal Rumble, having just lost to Kevin Owens, he wore his heel face. That was a heel moment. He then went on to retire The Undertaker as a heel. That was all as a heel. It just didn't go further, unfortunately. They needed a face again at the top level, so they changed him back. But he was a heel. When you talk about Asuka, we don't know what's going to fix the situation. It's not promos, because her promos are not good. They're just not good. It must be pairing her up with someone. Maybe they get Paige back. Fans are returning, get Paige back. That works for me. Well done by Kevin Owens saying, say hi to Steve. When he smashes Sami Zayn's head into something. Michael says, Asuka was the best with Kairi. The Kabuki Warriors was the best version of Asuka, and you will not convince me otherwise. You will not convince me otherwise. I think it's also very telling that she never suffered for her lack of promo skills on NXT. Why? Because they didn't want fully rounded characters in NXT. In NXT, you're fine to just be a really good wrestler. Not good enough on the main roster. Absolutely not good enough. You need more. You need the whole package. She isn't that. With this in mind, I don't think she's a top talent. I just don't. Mega says, Tessa tweeted diamond emoji and that was it. Was basically right after the Diamond Mine debut, and I know people thought she was going to be in the Diamond Mine, so I wonder if she was mocking fans or if it was a sign. It could also be completely unrelated because her logo is a diamond. Her logo is a diamond, so she may have just been saying, I'm coming back soon. Could have been completely unrelated. It's one of those. There are too many possibilities for it to be really worth speculating. It's one of those that sometimes I'm not even going to start talking about it. We have another commercial break. A commercial break during Last Man Standing. Michael says, I feel like Tessa has tweeted that in the past, so I don't think it's anything new. Like I say, it's her icon. It's her logo. The Diamond Mine insignia, one of the reasons that people thought Tessa was in it was because that's literally the exact icon that she wears on her gear. It's literally exactly the same. So she has every right to use it. And I think it was more that than anything else. Just her reasserting her use of the icon. Which, why not? We are just finishing the first hour of Raw, and so far, good storytelling, wrestling so-so. We have an I Quit match coming up Money in the Bank, which is nice. We have had a tag team match featuring Big E beating Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin is a new evolution, shall we say, and it's a very exciting change of character that we've got. Matt's here. Welcome, Matt. Says, I missed the spoiler warning, but Toni Storm was backstage for a dark match versus Shotzi Blackheart. Yes, we have indeed heard that one. Toni Storm is a name that I've brought up a lot as regards incoming call-ups. She's someone that they want to call up sooner rather than later. She just has to pass the tryouts. They're looking for 3D characters. I've said exactly the same, Matt. That's exactly what I've been saying for a little while now. Toni Storm, definitely someone I can see getting called up soon, but they want to give her a tryout first. Megan says, just realized that Corbin is growing his hair back at the same time Otis chopped all his off. Yeah, maybe they're just swapping. Maybe we're going to get King Otis. Or King Tis. That's a no. Felt a little bit sick in my mouth there. Just didn't feel comfortable with what I said. It's icky. It's icky. Have just realized, unfortunately, that I need to make a quick change to VIP statuses. It really does, Megan. King Tis does sound painful. You're right, Matt. Next week is the final Smackdown from the Thunderdome. I'm hoping they wreck shit, but we'll see if anything happens. I think Raw is more likely to be the one destroying everything. And Noob says, I don't know what's WWE problem with Asuka. I don't know if it's the promos, lack of character development or character growth, or is it the language barrier, or Vince McMahon pretty much not interested in Asuka. I can tell you exactly what the WWE's problem is with Asuka. They don't want to push her because they don't think she's a top star because she's not the complete package. That's always been the WWE's issue with Asuka. Nothing's changed. Since the moment she came up to the main roster and they realized she's missing a whole section that they need in order to create fully rounded characters, they haven't given a shit. They literally just haven't given a shit. Matt has given us a bit more detail about Fightful Select report, stating that Fightful Select report, although Vega was listed on the internal roster, she didn't return, and there are no available creative plans for her right now. The hope is to have her in the mix by Money in the Bank. Right, so they're saying she was listed on the roster, but didn't come back, and there's no plans, but maybe she'll be back by Money in the Bank. Okay. Do you remember earlier in Spoiler Warning when I said that I'd taken a long time to get more information about that very topic before I was willing to actually report it? Every time you guys bring in something from Fightful Select, I feel like it's half a report. I feel like I'm waiting for the next paragraph or the first paragraph. I don't know. Matt adds more. Also, no plans to bring back Aleister Black at this time. Anything can change in WWE, but right now it's still a waiting game. So they're reporting that anything can change. Maybe something will, maybe something won't. And they called me vague. Literally just talking about this as you were typing it. Get the Table is here. Welcome, mate. Saying, with Zelina Vega seemingly on her way back to WWE, do you think there's a good chance Aleister Black returns? As regards Zelina Vega returning, I'm waiting for it to happen. I think there's a certain awkwardness because if she does return, she's basically getting paid the wage that her husband was released for. So who knows as regards that one. And honestly, I think there's a good chance Aleister Black returns anyway. I just don't think yet. And if he does return, it's starting at zero again. It's starting at zero, and he's done that how many times in WWE? He came up from NXT, started at zero again. They recreated his character with the eye patch and everything, started at zero again, got rid of that, created the Dark Father concept, started at 0 again. Now they've released him. If they bring him back, they're starting at 0 a 4th time. I'd rather they didn't bring him back so that he can go away and have a great career somewhere that actually gives a shit about him, basically. Kevin Owens has stacked a couple of tables on top of each other. Always good. Always enjoy that. Hey, welcome to the show, Get to Tables. Welcome. I need to remember to do shouts. Not all. Not all. Just Twitch. Shout for Get the Tables. Anyone doesn't know, Get the Tables also do wrestling-based streams that you could very much enjoy. Megan says the fact that Drake and Joe were brought back so fast means it's kind of speculation. Speculation is never going away, just a case of pick a name, really. Very, very true. And I will say, as I mentioned with both of those situations, they came back on a lot less. They came back on a lot less, which is important. It's important to factor that in. They're coming back on less money than when they left. So maybe that's the situation that we've got. Maybe Zelina Vega and Aleister Black will come back for less money and start at 0 again. I think any chance of world championships for Aleister Black is completely out the window by now. Jadip says, I'd love to see El Generico interfere right now. Me too. That would be amazing. That would be so good. Then they have a faction of Zayn and Owens. Oh, that'd be good. Not Zayn and Owens, a faction of Zayn and Generico. You get what I mean. Get the Table says, if they're getting released because of money, can't they restructure deals instead of releasing them? I wish they would just go to people and say, will you have a smaller contract? You know, especially some of the top draws. Just go to some of them and say, look, we need to cut costs. Are you willing to sign a contract for less money? If yes, we're laughing. You can offer incentives. It's less money, yes, but you'll also work 100 days less per year, and that'll just be house shows. Restructure them. Say we're doing a lot less house shows. You're going to have to work a lot less, but we'd like to pay a little less while doing it. I'd imagine a lot of people would opt into that. And the people who don't opt in, they're the ones who work all the house shows. There are ways to do this that don't involve literally making a phone call and saying, yeah, you're fired, bye. Talk to people. Matt says, RIP to the Patriot. Indeed, he's not someone whose work I really knew, but the build of Team Canada when Bret Hart was turning heel against Steve Austin, the Patriot led that charge, and I enjoyed his work. What I've seen looking back, I enjoyed it. RIP indeed. Michael says, will they be doing the same amount of house shows when they start to tour? Not immediately. I get what you were saying, Michael, as in pre-COVID. Not immediately, but they are hoping to eventually get to the same level. Get the Table says, do you by chance listen to Lana on Jericho's podcast? I haven't yet. I'm aware of some of what was said. Most of the stuff that's been reported in overall media, I am aware of. But I haven't yet. Kevin Owens threw both tables. He put it together. Of course, he goes through it. So yes, I unfortunately just haven't had the chance to watch it yet. But I know the general conversation topics that were covered. Owens is holding his head. His back is covered in sawdust. But he's getting up. You should not have put those tables on top of each other, Owens. You know the rule. If you build it, you're going through it. Owens is up. Zayn is reacting when he should be kicking him in the head. It's gone dark. We've got another commercial break. Matt says, when was the last time we had a last man standing match on free TV? The last time we had a last man standing match on Smackdown was 7 years ago. Raw, I'm not sure, but I believe that was the last time. Get the Table says, Lana trying to throw shade on Reigns made me chuckle. We did talk about this a little bit earlier. Pardon me. We did talk about this a little bit earlier on Spoiler Warning. We talked about Roman's creative control and how he doesn't have the creative control that people are accusing him of. That will be live on YouTube tomorrow at 6 p.m. That'll be live, tomorrow at 6 p.m. So if anyone hasn't subscribed to YouTube already, here's a link to it. You can click on and go and subscribe over there. 6 p.m. UK time, 1 p.m. EST. The video from Spoiler Warning of talking about Roman Reigns' creative control will be going live. But essentially, to give you a few notes from it in a lot less detail, he doesn't have the creative control he's being accused of recently. He just doesn't. He can engage in conversation much like a lot of people can, but not a lot of people do. Matt says, I think it was 2019 Drew McIntyre versus Dean Ambrose. I can remember that match. I can remember that one well. Get the Table says, I'll check it out. Thank you very much, Get the Tables. Are you streaming right now? Because I'm surprised, to be honest. I thought you'd be streaming a watch party. Or are you primarily an AEW watch party person? If you're primarily AEW, which I completely get, let me know and we can give shout outs because I don't cover AEW. So I can certainly try and direct people your way during those Wednesdays. We have our second commercial break during the match. It really does kill the momentum of matches like this when they're just constantly taking breaks. I'm not a fan of it. I'm really not. Especially when it's literally, we were that close to a 10 count before the commercial break. And we're going to come back and we're not going to be near a 10 count anymore. With the amount of damage you've taken, if this was a WWE game, he'd be red all over and you'd be trying desperately to get pins because no matter what you hit him with, he's going down. He's full on going down, but apparently not. The Table says, not live tonight. Had a new AC unit put in. They just finished a bit ago, so no show tonight. Fair enough, mate, fair enough. Talk us a little bit through your schedule if you'd like. I know technically we're in competition, but we're not. We're not. This is a beauty of Twitch, beauty of YouTube. We can all work together here, and people can choose whatever content they want. So talk us a little bit through your schedule if you'd like. Matt says the Fightful and PW Insider reports on Vega are weird. How so, Matt? You've just given us the Fightful Select report. You gave us a direct quote from it in the sourcing there. Thank you very much for doing that. We do make sure to source as well we can here. But PW Insider, tell me more. Get a Table says, so Brock is the closest to has full creative control, or am I wrong? I think the closest with full creative control right now would be Edge, but he doesn't have full creative control. He's just the one who's heard most often. He gets heard most often, if you understand what I'm saying there. None of them have creative control. When it comes to Brock, he doesn't have creative control. He's simply very, very willing to leave the negotiating table if they don't give him what he wants. So they plan things out ahead of time. Megan says, Ari, last man standing on TV. It was Natalya and Lacey Evans in October 2009. Ambrose versus McIntyre was March 2019. Wow. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Stat Queen, for bringing us that information. Right, from Peter Insider. Matt is saying, Zelina Vega is backstage at tonight's Friday Night Smackdown taping, Peter Insider has confirmed. Peter Insider is told that Vega, who was released by WWE back in November 2020, just walked into the gorilla position. We were also told she was backstage last week as well, but was well hidden. She is back full-time with the company and will be appearing tonight. Interesting. Right. I wouldn't say that's weird. I would say that's very, very clear. If she's just walked into the gorilla position, which it makes it very clear that Peter Insider have a source in the gorilla position right now. So if she's just walked into the gorilla position, then surely that's very clear. She's back full-time. She'll be appearing tonight. They are very clear about that. Get the Table says, we do watch parties for NXT, AEW, and Impact. No worries, Get the Tables. I like to ensure that everyone gets a shout-out if they can. And it's better if you can shout out your own stuff, because while I may know what you do, you've said there, people who want to watch Impact who may be in the stream right now, I don't cover Impact. You've just given them an option for where to go. It's all right, Matt. Nightbot's just doing the Nightbot thing. It's absolutely fine. Don't you worry about it. But yeah, I don't think the PW Insider report is confusing. I think the Fightful Select report is confusing. I think they're covering their bases hard. Megan says SmackDown does need women, so it wouldn't surprise me if WWE went to her with an offer and she took it. I think it's very possible that after this most recent collection of releases, maybe they have gone back to her. Maybe when Aleister Black was released, what he said was true, and it was simply a case that she hadn't been approached and that the reports were wrong. Because Aleister Black, well, Tommy End himself, said the reports were wrong. He said the reports were wrong. But it may be that they went afterwards. Possible, Matt. Michael, you're absolutely right. It's funny how these reports on Vega are the same day that you covered it on spoiler warning. It is, isn't it? It's very interesting. Get a table says, other than you, thank you for this. Who is other good wrestling news sites in your opinion? I like what Wrestling Inc. do. I like their approach to things. I obviously write for PW Torch, so I'll say write. I podcast for PW Torch, so I'm going to recommend them. It's hard to just sit in and say this one is the best. My recommendation is always to do multiple. There is a place for clickbait websites as long as you don't trust them. Just never trust them. Yeah, I definitely think you're absolutely right there, Michael. It's one of those. I put a lot of caveats into my report earlier today. I genuinely did. Because I knew this was a constantly evolving situation. And I always think really hard before I report something. But yeah, it's very curious. Somebody suddenly opened up, apparently at the wrong time. For anyone currently watching on YouTube, please do remember that you can click like on the video. That would be a huge help to me and my growth individually. So if you can do that, please do so. Kevin Owens is starting to dominate Sami Zayn a little bit. After 2 haluva kicks, he's just got up. Through the table. He's being picked up now. Looks like he's going through the other table. He's going through the other table. He's getting picked up again. Oh, that's a callback and a half. That's a wonderful callback. That's got to be it. That's got to be it. Charles Robinson is doing a very fast count for a last man standing match. This is it. Kevin Owens will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Well, Sami Zayn managed to win for the first time since February. And that win's sort of been taken away by 50-50 booking now. Like I said, I fully expected Sami to win. Me too. 100%. Jacob says, I thought KO was taking time off. Apparently not. Apparently not. He literally tweeted about taking time off. There was clearly a plan for him to have time off. WWE apparently just changed their mind. And Omegatron just says, interesting choice there. Interesting choice here. I agree. I would have gone with Sami. I've got to speculate here. I think Sami's changing brand. Megan Morant has not been here a few weeks yet. She's been here a while now. Edge is backstage hyping up the main event segment, which will feature him, Roman, and Jimmy Uso. Actually, Matt, Kingsuke. Kingsuke is what they went with. And I like that. Kingsuke. Sonya Deville is heading out to the ring. Ideally, this is your time to call out Zelina Vega. Thus giving us Carmella, Liv Morgan, and Zelina Vega. That would leave just one slot left to fill. Hey, maybe they're going to call Sasha Banks back early. Earlier today, I did talk about Zelina Vega. What I said essentially was that when she did go to the Performance Center, and I could confirm that she went to the Performance Center, they did try and raise the discussion about bringing her back. And at that time, she simply wasn't interested. It does look like things have changed. And when you look at the Fightful Select report, it does suggest that something has changed rather than just continuation of what happened previously. Michael says, so then do Natty and Tamina defend? Let's have a look at what matches are on the card right now. We have 6 matches, 2 of which are going to be Money in the Bank ladder matches. We have 2 Women's Championship matches and 2 Top Championship matches. I think that's a full card, particularly when you consider that Money in the Bank matches rarely last a short amount of time. I don't know if Megan's going to have some stats already for us, but Money in the Bank matches can go a long way. With this in mind, they want to keep Money in the Bank to only 3 hours. So I think it'll just be those 6 matches, personally. I don't see Natalya and Tamina defending until SummerSlam pre-show. Can see that. Yeah, well, Matt, he wasn't asking who they would defend against. We know that because there's literally only one more tag team in the women's divisions. And they did earn the opportunity. So 40 minutes left. We are 2/3 of the way through SmackDown. If Zelina Vega walked into the gorilla position, what? 20 minutes ago? 20 minutes ago, then here she is, basically. In which case, I've got to be honest, should have saved it for the fans. I think they're jumping the gun here if that's the case. Really good show. Do you mean SmackDown so far, Michael? Do you mean SmackDown so far? The last man standing match was quite good. I feel it could have been better, but storyline-wise, storytelling, very, very good. You don't always need to be having the big bumps. You don't always need them. I enjoyed it. SmackDown's great. Got it. Got it. Oh, is Buddy Murphy streaming now? I did not know that. I'll have to check him out and try and get us try and do some raids. He's a big guy. Like, he's a big guy. I cannot wait to see where he lands. Genuinely very excited. You say that, Matt, but there is every possibility that the WWE will confirm Liv Morgan. They just haven't realized that they haven't officially confirmed it anywhere yet. They might just be waiting to see if they can sign someone else to take her spot. It's one of those things. After all, when Lana was bumped for Charlotte, same thing. Thank you very much, J-Dub, for the 10 bits. It is thoroughly appreciated, sir. I can only apologize that my alerts aren't set up on StreamYard, but that will change when I'm going like official, when I've got the money to go proper, as it were. Megan says, longest Money in the Bank match was the men's in 2017 at 29 minutes 45. Shortest is the one from WrestleMania 22 at 12:14. That's a bloody short match. That's a very short match. Thank you for bringing the stats. The I Quit match has been confirmed for Money in the Bank. And Michael Cole did say a week from Sunday, not this Sunday. Baron Corbin. Boogs is inviting Corbin out for dinner. Oh, he's not, though. I'm starting to not like Boogs anymore. I am not sure, Matt. I believe so. I believe it is. Zelina Vega? Dynamic. Yep. Zelina Vega has officially returned. I wonder how they wrap this up. How did they cover all of the time away that she's had? Megan bringing more stats. The first women's I Quit match was Beth Phoenix versus Melina from 2008. Jacob says, if he hadn't been such a dick the last 5 years, I might feel bad for him. Fair enough. Matt saying Peter Winsider got it right. They really did. Definitely accurate. Megan said there was also Kaylee Ray versus Toni Storm in NXT UK, which was for a title. I forgot that. So she's officially back. I'm guessing the Twitch streaming has ended. She's handed over the channel. This is a very good question. Has she been promised the briefcase? Has she been promised a championship to get her to come back? Matt, like 50,000 people called this one. You're not getting credit for it. Megan's been putting jokes on Twitter about it for a while now. You're not getting credit for it. Right, okay. Took me a minute there, Corey. SmackDown's been pretty good so far. It's been pretty good. Hope you're well, and thank you very much for all your greetings. She did say NXT, yes. That doesn't mean that NXT are involved. I don't think it is, but she did say it. Is she? Smackdown is okay. There's been a couple of good shocks, though. AJ Lee Page. So I'm saying. That segment was very reminiscent of when Paige came down to challenge AJ Lee. That's what I'm saying. Corey says, looks like you're having a good night over here. Looks like you got a lot of yours right now on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, we got over. We've had some good numbers today. We've had some good numbers. It's been a good time. Right. Chelsea says, can someone tell me who Vega is? Haven't seen her before. She's very, very talented. She's formerly a streamer, Tia Trinidad, with a very successful Twitch channel. She was released from the company because she wanted to work on her own individual options. So, for example, Twitch streaming. She had an OnlyFans, but only for cosplay content, and so on and so forth. She supports unionization, and she's back. Bit confusing that, but very, very talented, and I'm excited to have her in a ladder match. Corey said, my gaming chair came in last night. Fantastic, Corey. I look forward to seeing you set it up and get it going. Matt says, as regards to Zelina Vega, can actually wrestle and is very, very good at it. I think all the women can wrestle now. But yeah, she was released. Her husband was released. And then she came back. Her husband literally said on her Twitch channel that there were false reports about her returning to the company. And now she's returned to the company. There is a lot more to this situation than meets the eye. Apparently so. Apparently she got the message about unionization as well. A lot of people supported her on that. And then she came back. We don't know that anymore, J-Dub. We don't know that. Paige isn't back, Corey. Zelina Vega is back. Paige isn't back. Whatever matches are there tonight, nothing's been announced. Nothing's been announced. All we know is that Edge and Roman will have some sort of big stare down. That's all we know. So right now, it's Zelina Vega versus Liv Morgan. Give this 5 minutes, then another commercial break, then have Edge, Roman, and Jimmy Uso make their entrances, another commercial break, and then our final segment. I'd imagine Jimmy versus Bobby Roode is still likely. Okay. The way he did it, I don't believe that. Just the way he did it. Billy says, getting Zelina back in WWE is a big deal. If this was an AEW pickup, that Twitter stream would be endless. Yeah, she... What have they promised her? Omega says, love Zelina, would love to see her manage Alistair in some capacity. Well, Alistair doesn't work there anymore, so who can tell? And Corey says, what else did I miss? Good Corbin stuff. Jill says, pick a number. My number is always 7. My number is always 7. My birthday is the 7th of the 7th, which, by the way, for people who don't know, I'm going to be doing a big birthday party stream on 7th of July, which is this Wednesday. So keep an eye out for that. Matt says, speaking of Aleister Black, he says he thinks Adam Cole won't go to the main roster. Yeah, I agree. Megan says, so great suggestion on Twitter. Liv has to beat one more person after Zelina to qualify, and it's Sonya. Yeah, that's basically what I would hope to have as well. I think you can't have Liv Morgan wrestle all these matches. You can't have her wrestle all these matches and not come away in the Money in the Bank ladder match. You can't do that to her. So whoever is third, I can't imagine she's losing this one either. Sorry, I can't imagine she's winning this one. Zelina Vega's just come back. She's not losing. She's absolutely not losing. Thank you very much, Chelsea, for the 7 bits. Thank you kindly. Already got the chair set up and stuff, streaming some sports stuff for the past 4 hours in it. Well, I hope it's comfy, mate. I need to get a gaming chair, but I can't afford it. One day. Zelina uses the ropes a lot, and I like that. It's a bit slow motion, though. Yeah, Jade, it was pretty weird. It's pretty weird. Shouldn't be happening, that. I think Alexa's a creeper. Or is she responding to me? Alexa, what sound does a penguin make? Main roster, yes. Vega has lost. Zelina Vega loses her return. Matt says, I think Liv Morgan's winning. Why build her up with all these wins and stuff and not have her win? Same can be said of pretty much anyone is the issue. Zelina comes back in with a lot of momentum. Why change Nikki Cross and not have her win? There's a lot going on. Seth is introducing himself before saying a big fuck you. You know it's coming. Good. That's the edgy content I pay for. Seth's trousers are insane. This word deserves gets thrown around a lot. It's actually very standard WWE. It's that whole moment of humility. You come back in and it's like, okay, but you're going to learn. You've come back in, but you're going to do as you're told now. Corey says, I think Paige is back because they want to get viewers up. And Corey, Paige isn't back. Paige is not back. Zelina Vega is back. Seth Rollins will take on Cesaro in a Money in the Bank ladder qualifying match. Ugh. Ugh. So yeah, next week is more Rollins and Cesaro. I'd imagine this is the end of it, though. See, that makes things even more confusing. If Seth Rollins wins next week in that qualifying match and then wins the briefcase, he can make it a triple threat. Edge, Rollins, and Roman. Oh, that makes everything confusing. Jacob says, "Oh my God, Otis, please grow your beard back, please." Matt says, "I think someone is cashing in on the night. Don't know who, but I just have a feeling." Okay. As Megan says, it sets up Edge versus Rollins at SummerSlam if Seth takes away the one-on-one Money in the Bank. It does. And it leaves Edge demanding another one-on-one soon. I suddenly think that's the plan. I suddenly think that's the plan. Oh. Right. It is going to be Otis versus Angelo Dawkins, which makes sense. Montez Ford, I believe, is still out of action. It depends, Matt. There is obviously, it depends if someone holds on to it for a while. If someone holds on to it for a while, the briefcase for a while, then it means we can have changes there. But it's also worth considering that, imagine for a moment if Big E wins the briefcase and cashes in during Kofi versus Bobby Lashley. That's certainly throwing the cat amongst the pigeons. There are very, very exciting options for the briefcase. They usually don't take them. Corey says, what about John Cena if he comes back? What about him? I do not understand the question, Corey. Would you be able to give me more context there? It's one of those. At the moment, I think there's still too many options. But that's not a bad thing. It's going to make predictions really difficult. They've certainly created a lot more intrigue this week. And that will make SmackDown live longer in the memory. We have 20 minutes left. We have our last match will be Otis versus Dawkins. Then we'll have another commercial break and we'll be on to the final section with Edge, Roman Reigns, and Jimmy Uso. Yep, that makes perfect sense, Matt. I would expect the same. And then Nakamura will win it. It's another one that I kind of expected. Zelina Vega will be on Talking Smack. I'll be very interested to see what she says. Very interested. Okay, Otis's hair is growing back patchy, and they need to not zoom in that close. There is one little eyebrow hair that has escaped the entire thing. Who? Cena. Okay. If Cena comes back and gets in the rivalries, I was going to ask you the other day. I forgot to see a fatal forward for the Universal title. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I see Seth versus Edge, and I see Roman versus Cena. And this is something that I've been talking about for a while, Seth versus Edge. We've been way ahead of the Edge story in this channel. Way out in front of it. Do not zoom in that close. You can see every blemish. See every nose hair. Angelo Dawkins heads down. Is he alone? He is alone. I like that they have a tag team feud that doesn't involve the championships. I'm excited to see when we actually have the tag team match for this. It should be a lot of fun. I know it's all about Otis, but it's also good moments for Gable. certainly gives us the opportunity for SummerSlam to be the Mysterios versus Otis and Gable instead of against the Usos. It depends if they want to save the Usos storyline. Otis is being very inexpressive, which is standard. Bailey says, this has been a solid night to advance storylines. Raw seems unable to do this. You say that, but the Raw after Hell in a Cell advanced every storyline and did a really good job. They can't consistently do it, but they still do it. SmackDown this week has really been, you're right, it's been about storyline and it's working. Matt says, I wonder if Zelina's new contract allows her to keep her Twitch, otherwise why come back? She hasn't been streaming for a long time, according to Edders, who is a regular in her community. It's all been Aleister Black. She hasn't been that. So I would suspect not. I would suspect she's giving up her Twitch. I would suspect all the reasons that she left, she's gotten rid of. Kind of disappointing. Angelo Dawkins is wearing the same tape that Kevin Owens did in the same place that Kevin Owens did. He's supposed to be carrying Knox, and Otis is supposed to be just destroying him at this point. That's more likely. Michael says, Otis used to be way too goofy for me, so I'm glad he's dumped that gimmick. Yeah, but it's... When you go from one extreme to the other, it's jarring. It's jarring and it seems inauthentic. I'm not saying it, but all the reasons that she was released, the OnlyFans is gone, YouTube's gone. If she's not streaming on Twitch, she posted that she believed in unionization. She ain't in the union either. What have they promised her? How is she being convinced? Otis is literally just destroying Dawkins. That'll be a free. Very little effort required. No time left for a match anyway. They've just said that Otis is becoming a major force. Who's he got to compete with? Are we looking at Otis versus Owens? I can see Otis versus Owens happening. Otis versus Big E. They might miss the mark on that one because obviously Big E looks like he's going to Raw. I don't know. It's a weird one. I'm not sure what they're planning with Otis, but they're clearly planning something. I would have said the same about Corbin, though. They were clearly planning something. I'll think about it as sort of seeing... No, we're not doing that. Right, Roman is there. We know Roman's there. They showed the championship. That's his championship. Doesn't go to Paul Heyman. Goes to Roman. We know he's there. Heretic Aqua says, do you think The Fiend will return SummerSlam this year? He will have returned before SummerSlam. He will be returning before SummerSlam. We'll likely have a match at SummerSlam. Don't know what that match is going to be, but he likely will have a match. I get the feeling he's one of the options for Bobby Lashley and for Drew McIntyre. So, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Who the hell can tell? Welcome, Heretics Aqua. Jimmy Uso is making his entrance. He will be calling out Edge. And Roman Reigns is lurking in the background. I still love the Yeet hoodie. That works for me. I found that very enjoyable. And we have another commercial break. Yes, J-Dub, this main event is really one guy calling out another guy. It's a dude calling out a dude so that another dude can wreck him. Because you know Roman's waiting for the opportunity to just smash up Edge. You know he's waiting. We all know he's waiting. It's coming. We are heading into our final section, so I'm going to do the normal situation. If you are lurking, you are welcome to lurk. Pardon me. If you don't have an account, please consider signing up and hitting that follow button. When you follow, you will get a notification every time we go live here on Twitch. And if you subscribe and click the bell, you'll get a notification every time we have a new video on YouTube. We do daily YouTube videos at 6 p.m. UK time. That is 1 p.m. EST. So when you finish work, you'll be able to find it. When you finish school, when you've sat down, ready to have a drink and a calm end to your day, pick up your phone and you'll get a 6-7 minute video about wrestling news on the YouTube channel. So if you can follow, please do. You will get information about Spoiler Warning, which is our wrestling news show every Monday and every Friday, 10 p.m. UK time, 5 p.m. EST. Raw and Smackdown watch parties just like these, and gaming content, Football Manager on Tuesdays, Final Fantasy VII at the moment on Thursdays, so we do finish that this week, and I'll be looking at another game that we can pick up. So what are you waiting for? If you haven't already clicked follow or subscribe, please do so, because that would be a huge help to me. Matt says, I'm going to laugh if Rhea versus Charlotte Money in the Bank is just another straight up match. And Bailey, Bianca, and the women's Money in the Bank are the only women's matches with stipulations. Why? Why? If they want a wrestling match, that's variation, and they want variation. Especially if they're going to keep this going to SummerSlam and have that be the big payoff. You got to think about the future. Hello, AJ. Welcome to the show. You're here just for the final 10 minutes. But thank you for joining us. We are currently sitting at a very nice viewership total. I get what you're saying there, Matt. You'd think it would be no DQ. They've decided against it, so we're going with wrestling. I'd imagine this story is still to be told. This is, of course, why Asuka was involved, to try and keep them apart as long as possible. AJ says, I'm so happy Zelina is back. Oh my God, Zelina is indeed back. Now let's see if they use her better. She's already lost her first match, so I'm inclined to think no. I hope yes. I really do. Megan says, I'm just worried now the Money in the Bank card will get bloated to overcompensate for the live audience comeback. Yeah, the WWE, and I've said this for over a year, have been intentionally having shorter pay-per-views because they worry about the attention span of people with no fans there. The temptation when they get fans back is to do the exact same thing they've always done. Go longer. 3 hours becomes 4 hours. 4 hours becomes 5 hours. WrestleMania becomes 9.5 hours. The temptation's going to be there. They need to not do that. They've confirmed qualifying match next week will be Nakamura versus Corbin. Nakamura in Money in the Bank. I'm confident on that one. But I was confident about Owens and Zayn as well. Heretic Aqua says, so you think Fiend will make an entrance at SummerSlam? So happy, he's my favorite wrestler, and I think it would be awesome to see his entrance. I think he will have a match at SummerSlam. I think he will return ahead of SummerSlam. His full entrance is likely to be part of SummerSlam. I hope SummerSlam ends up being 2 days like it was last year, but they did have a week between the 2 days last year. Payback was essentially SummerSlam night 2. There is definitely a Roman Reigns here tonight. That's great to hear, Aqua. I hope you have fun. I really do. Jimmy Uso, literally they're saying this ain't no trap. You know what sort of people say that? People who are planning a trap. Megan says we're at 6 already with 2 weeks to go. Last year had 8, so it'll be interesting to see how many this year's one gets. Do you mean SummerSlam for that? Or do you mean Money in the Bank? I think Money in the Bank last year, the entire last hour was just a one match, which was great fun. I actually genuinely really enjoyed it. If you're currently watching on YouTube, please do remember that you can click like on this video. This helps the video reach a new audience to grow and expand, and helps me individually grow the channel. We are currently sitting at, if I get the exact number, on YouTube, we are currently sitting at 588 subscribers. I'm trying to get those numbers to go up. I'm aiming to try and get to the 1,000, to try and get some income from YouTube. At the minute, I'm making nothing from YouTube. But if you enjoy my content, please do click subscribe, because it means you'll get a video every single day with wrestling news in it. Gotcha, Megan. It was a bit awkward, wasn't it, J-Dub? It was a bit awkward. Megan says Money in the Bank. Right. Makes sense. Jermaine says, hi, Tom. I think Seth Rollins, Baron Corbin, and Liv Morgan getting Money in the Bank next week. And the last spot is left for Sasha Banks for the female side of SmackDown. I'm down with that. That or Sasha Banks comes back in the 4th week as the 4th person to enter Money in the Bank. Liv Morgan beats her, and Sonya Deville says, no, not Liv Morgan's going to be in it. No, Aqua, I'm going to make no predictions at the moment. I believe they are holding the Fiend in reserve for Drew McIntyre, but they may need Drew McIntyre for Bobby Lashley. I did not read them all, Matt. It was a hell of a text dump, and I didn't have much time before I needed to get online. So at some point when I get more time, I'll let you know. Edge is tossing Jimmy Uso around. Always nice to see. He's using the steps. Uso over super kicks so hard, it put both of them onto the floor. I always like that. Just a little bit extra. A little bit extra. There was 8 at SummerSlam last year. It would not surprise me if this year's one was doubled that just for the hell of it. I suspect we're looking at 10, 11 matches for SummerSlam this year, which is one of the reasons I thought maybe they're doing it tonight. I still think it's possible that they go tonight. As I say, they did make sure they had SummerSlam and then Payback a week later last year to be the overflow pay-per-view for anything they couldn't fit on SummerSlam. Edge legit just booted Jimmy Uso in the face. Card subject to change, Matt. Card is always subject to change. Jimmy Uso is tapping out to Edge's crossface, which is not like that. That's a rear naked choke. That was a rear naked choke. That wasn't quite a crossface. He's setting up now for a spear. Edge hits the spear. The camera work is bad. That made the spear look a lot worse. Still a few minutes left and he's already hit a finisher. Roman's got to be there somewhere. He's going for the chairs. They keep mentioning him. They keep doing it. I know exactly who we're going to raid after this. I will be finishing immediately after this, but please do stick around because I do know exactly who I'm planning to raid. And I think it's someone that you're all going to enjoy spending a bit of time with. Jimmy Uso's bugging his eyes out much in the same way that Roman did. I'm 100% certain Roman's there. He's just not helping his cousin. Megan says, I will say part of me is a little mad not to have got Usos versus Edge and Christian. That would have been fun. That would have been fun. Okay, Matt. Wouldn't know. Nice work from Edge. Off microphone stuff is always good. And that is that. So, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to organize this raid to Josh Robinson 00. 100%. That's the guy I want to head to. That's the channel I want to head to. He's currently playing WWE 13 Attitude Era Revisited. It's been a while. We haven't been able to raid Josh because of timings, because he is Australian, but he's incredibly funny, and I definitely want to send a raid his way. So that is what I'm going to do. That should work. Hopefully it does. I'd be disappointed if it doesn't. An error occurred. Okay, well, I've got to come out of this. Go into this. But that's been Smackdown. We definitely had a few pleasant surprises. The return of Zelina Vega was a strong one. Josh Robinson 00. Okay, the raid's working. The raid is working. So if you've been watching this live on YouTube, I will just be wrapping up. But if you're watching on Twitch, please do stick around, because we are heading to the Josh Robinson channel to help support a very good guy and a very good friend. That has been Smackdown. Some big moments, I feel, and some really good positive storytelling going forwards. In the meantime, though, we will see you all again either on Sunday for gaming or on Monday for spoiler warning. I've been Tom Collier. Thank you, everyone, for joining us and helping us to keep this this train rolling. Some really entertaining stuff today. Thank you, everyone, and I will see you all very soon for more.